evening, America. Hello, Chicago. And what's up, West Side? This is P-Rae of Black Excellence Hour, a show for people with high self-esteem. You could have been doing anything on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, and you chose to come hang out with me today at Black Excellence Hour. And as always, I appreciate the company and the time. If you are watching live on the Facebook page or on the Black Excellence Hours Facebook page, or on the Intellectual Radio YouTube page, be sure to share the live. Today's show is going to be about what happened in Congress last week with AOC, Jasmine Crockett, and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, all of us have seen the tape and her calling the woman a bleach blonde, a bleach blonde, butch body, no, bleach blonde, bad, butch body woman, right? And so we're going to dive into that and exactly what that means. Why was she acting like that? Because I know that if we were working at an Amazon warehouse and we were in a team meeting, you could not curse your teammates out like that or go off on your teammates like that on both sides. So we're going to dive into that as well as the helicopter crash that happened this morning and some Chicago news. But first things first, we're going to start with a dose of self-esteem from the greatest president to ever do it. And I mean, ever do it. His name is Donald John Trump Sr. He's coming to Chicago very, very soon. And we are going to have a ball with him. Roll tape.
African Americans.
Oh, shucks. I forgot to cut off the other music. My bad. Because I told y'all I'm working out the kinks. So let's try this again. We are going to get the dose of self-esteem from the greatest president to ever do it. And that's Mr. Donald John Trump Sr., who is pulling up on us in Chicago very soon. Roll tape.
African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You know, you're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to you built the nation. We all built it, but you were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you were given credit for. Does that make sense? Right? But through generations of blood, sweat, and tears, and you deserve a government that defends your interests, protects your families, and cares for our own citizens first. My administration is fighting with everyone and all our heart to reverse the pain inflicted by Democrat leaders and to deliver hope and opportunity and prosperity for all Americans, but for African American communities all throughout our land. And our agenda is lifting up citizens of every background, race, religion, color, and creed. But while we are fighting every day to build up our nation, the far left only wants to wreck, ruin, and destroy our nation.
All right. Again, that was Donald Trump telling Black people exactly who we are when they tell you that Black people are not friends of MAGA, that Trump does not like Black people. We can now say that all of that is a lie because we have proof that he does care about Black people and says pretty nice things about Black people, much more than what Jim Crow Joe is saying about us, which is nothing nice at all. Typically, I'll have like a little racist clip from Jim Crow Joe, but we have a lot to talk about today, so let's hop to it. First things first, on the international front. So remember about 2 years ago when we figured out that we were in World War III? World War III has been pushed even harder today. And that's because the president and foreign minister of Iran were in a helicopter crash today. And now nobody knows what happened to them, where the plane is, and it's kind of fishy. So I'm going to tell the story backwards. There is a group in Lebanon called Hezbollah. And Hezbollah is a guerrilla warfare force, which they call a militant group, and they have been actively fighting Israel from the north. There is a space in Israel called the Golan Heights, and the Golan Heights are in the northern part of Israel that are in this Syrian Lebanese space. And so the Lebanese and the Syrians have been fighting the Israelis for this land, and the Israelis, they say, are taking more and more land from them. So the Lebanese went to get some help from the who? Iranians. So when you watch these war films or these war exercises that are happening in the Middle East, I'm addicted to them. I watch them all day. But when you are watching these war exercises, you'll see that they have very advanced weaponry, and they have like, I mean, it's like next level intense artillery. They're getting all of this stuff from Iran, which is a major arms dealer. Now, this week, the Lebanese or the Hezbollah group has really stepped up their fight for Israel, or a fight against Israel. This week, they struck a military post in northern Israel using a drone that fired two missiles. This attack wounded three soldiers, one of them seriously, according to the Israeli military. They're also saying that Hezbollah has regularly fired missiles across the border with Israel over the past 7 months, but the one last Thursday appears to be the first successful missile airstrike that has been launched from within Israeli airspace. Now, they're saying this is coming from PBS. However, on Twitter, they're talking to Israelis who are actually on the ground, and the people who live in northern Israel said that the Iron Dome is not working at all, and they are getting smacked by missiles. And if you watch it again, it's like they love recording all this warfare. So what they do is they make these kind of production videos where they show you their target, and then they shoot at the target with the missile, and then it blows up, and then they do all of this like prayer and singing kind of stuff. I'm telling y'all, at one point I was really into this, and I think I'm getting back into it. Anyway, I digress. So they're really beating them in the north, and the people who live in northern Israel don't know what's going on. It's making them very nervous. They're really fighting back against their government. And again, Iran is giving them all of this warfare. Now, what I also want to share with you is that, again, the Iranians are backing Hamas. They are the ones who are giving Hamas their weapons, because a lot of times we think about Palestine and we think about the Israelis just dropping bombs on these innocent people, and that's what's happening. But we also have to understand that the Palestinians are fighting back, and they are fighting back with big old guns, y'all. They are wiping these people out just like they're getting wiped out, but the numbers are not the same. They are deeply injuring Israeli soldiers using Iranian missiles. Now, that leads us to today, which is the Iran helicopter crash. And this had the president, Mr. Ibrahim Raisi, and the foreign minister, Hosseini Ibrahim on board. And they said that they had a hard landing. Now, they're saying that because of the adverse weather conditions, including heavy fog and rain, their rescue efforts have been hampered, and the helicopter is still missing. Uh, Initially, the US government was saying that they didn't want to say anything. However, a US congressman today was actually gloating that the man died. He was saying that good for him. He was a menace beforehand, and he was a menace afterhand, and we are happy to see him go. We also have to understand that this is the third major Iranian official who has died. Remember that Madani killed their military commander before through a drone strike, and now their president and their foreign minister are maybe dead in a plane crash. So, what's happening is that now the Gulf countries are starting to express concern over the crash. In Qatar, they said that they are ready to provide all forms of support. The Saudi Arabians said that they are prepared to assist in the search efforts, adding that the kingdom stands by the Islamic Republic during these difficult circumstances. And the United Arab Emirates said that they expressed their sincere wishes of success to the search and rescue operation, and that their embassy was available to help, and that the Kuwaiti Foreign Ministry said that they are following the incident with concern, adding that they stand with Iran in this difficult moment. So the Persians are about to link up even more with the Arabs. And I know a lot of times people may not think like, oh, this is not a big deal, but this is a huge deal. The other countries who are also saying that they're going to support Iran during this time are Armenia, because we know that the Armenians who are I'm sorry, the Armenians and the Persians have a deep, long relationship. The people from Azerbaijan, I believe one of their governmental officials was also on this plane. The Iraqis, the Qataris, the Russians, the Saudis, and the Turkish. All of these people are ready to link up and help Iran because, again, their president and their foreign minister literally fell out of the sky today, and we do not know what happened. But we do know that the Iranians were helping the Palestinians, the Iranians were helping the Syrians, the Iranians were helping Hezbollah, who are the Lebanese. Dun, dun, dun. Moving on, because I can go deep into this war stuff. And today we are not here to discuss war. But what we are discussing is the city of Chicago. And in the city of Chicago, as I spoke about when I went to City Hall, we are currently experiencing a overdose crisis. And according to CBS News, a spike in opioid overdoses in Chicago has officials concerned, and they are preparing for the summer. um they're saying that right now the overdoses are through the roof in the city of Chicago. They're saying that their worry and fears that the number of overdoses will continue to increase as it's happened in Chicago in the past summer months. They have a plan to combat the overdose crisis using new strategies from the city and the states. They're saying right now that they, meaning the Centers of for Disease Control and Prevention, they said that there is a decrease in overall opioid deaths across the country for the first time since 2019. However, Chicago is experiencing an all-time high. In 2021, there were 1,400 overdose deaths. They're saying that right now, as of May 11th, there were 50 opioid EMS related responses. From May 10th to May 15th, there were 242 opioid related responses. And again, for us who live on the west side of Chicago, that looks like people overdosing on curbs, that looks like people being sick in alleys, or like my good friend Jasmine, people being found deceased on their back porch. What the city has said is that when we hit over 50, that is a red alert, and that means that the threshold has been crossed over a 24-hour period. They're saying that, but we continue to see overdoses spike in the past few days, not just as high. And this continues to be an important public health issue that I'm glad we are talking about. However, while they're doing all of this lip service, y'all, remember that the first $51 million that the city of Chicago gave to the illegals, that money was for opioid settlement, and they were supposed to build rehabs all across the city to help communities get over the opioid crisis. However, they felt that that was not as important as getting the illegal somewhere to stay and something to eat, and therefore they are inside while our people are outside overdosing on corners. And once again, to the city council, please put the money back in the opioid fund. I don't understand how it got moved, but now we can see we really need it. We are at an all-time high. They said that we're trending higher than before, so we must put the opioid money back. Moving on. Also, there was an article put out by the Sun Times last week that said that the babies are outside, and the babies who I am talking about are school going youth or school age youth between the ages of 16 and 24 in Cook County. According to them, Chicago's youth unemployment rate is higher than the rest of Illinois and the nation at large. They're saying that it seems that many teens are not successfully transitioning from high school to going out and getting a job, going to college, entering a trade, or receiving any other education. And they're saying that those pathways were interrupted by the pandemic. However, we are outside of the pandemic, and we're seeing that right now, nationally, 17.5% of Black teens are out of work, and that is up from 9.4% in 2021. So it looks like while Jim Crow Joe has been in office, not only have adults struggled to get jobs, but the babies have as well. Now, this is where the numbers get crazy. The highest percentages of joblessness amongst teens in Chicago, nearly 93%, 93% were concentrated on the south and southwest side neighborhoods of Pilsen, Bridgeport, McKinley Park, Foley Park, and back of the yards. So a lot of people were saying that, the Hispanics were coming and the Hispanics were getting the jobs. The Hispanic youth, 93% of them don't have jobs right now. So we're going to throw that out the window that they are, working, or they cannot find jobs, or that the Hispanics are taking the jobs because their children are not working. However, I do want to say that the highest jobless rate for young adults who are Black, that was 48.3%. So Black students are actually working at a rate higher than Hispanic young people. However, our people still need more jobs. So I just want to put that out there, that the babies are outside. The babies are not going to work. Brandon Johnson said that he's going to expand job opportunities for young people citywide. So hopefully that will help. But right now, they're saying that because when they have the job programs, they actually decrease violence by 45%. So, what we have to focus on now is making sure that the young people are able to work. And we can do that first, friends, by making sure that the grown people and no, not the grown people, that the illegals are not taking their jobs, because we know that they are pushing for them to get work permits, and the young people need that job, especially in Hispanic neighborhoods. Who knew that 93% of the young people over there were not working or going to school? And see, that actually pushes back a lot on the lies that they tell us about ourselves. They tell us that our people are not working, our kids are so bad, they are not, trying, blah, blah, blah. But actually, it's a pretty high number, but it's not as bad as people were making it seem. Moving on. Moving on. I gotta talk about y'all girl. Miss Luxurious. Miss Luxurious being Miss Kim Fox, our Cook County State's attorney. According to her office, she wants to stop prosecuting gun cases that are tied to minor traffic stops under a new plan. She's saying that she drafted a policy that aims to undercut a dramatic rise in stops that disproportionately target people of color and rarely leads to arrests. She said that it felt like it was time for her to do something about it. And so what she's saying is that her office, who is armed with data, armed with knowledge that these stops have not significantly or in any way reduced violence in our city, decided that it was time to take a look at this issue and see if we could model a best practice that we've seen in other jurisdictions. Under the policy, her office would decline to file a drug, gun, or theft charges in cases that begin with a traffic stop for minor issues, such as having expired plates, missing a front plate, or not non-functioning brakes or headlights. The decision not to file charges would hinge on whether or not there was no other probable cause for the stop. The proposal would continue to give prosecutors broad discretion in deciding whether or not to charge cases. Kim Fox said that this policy would be a public safety enhancement effort that would build trust with law enforcement by decreasing the amount of potentially negative interactions that drivers have with the police. However, the people in her office don't agree. One prosecutor who spoke under the condition of anonymity said that people are in disbelief, and this is absolutely unthinkable. She Kim Fox said that her office has a current caseload related to traffic stops that was not significant in numbers, but a source in her office said 70% of the gun cases are connected to those types of stops. And they're saying that this comes in the wake of the death of Dexter Reed. Again, we know what happened to Dexter. We talked about what happened to Dexter. Rest in peace, Dexter. However, now in the city of Chicago, the county of Cook, they will not be charging people with guns, drugs, or any other illegal things that they have in their car if they are pulled over because of a broken tail light, expired plates, so on and so forth. This is crazy. This is really, really crazy. And the police don't seem like they are okay with this. However, she said, I think we have a partner in the police department who understands what the issues are and doesn't necessarily needs to be forced. However, the statement released a statement on Thursday saying, we do not comment on draft policies developed by external agencies. So once again, People will not be charged for the crimes that they commit if they get pulled over and caught with guns, drugs, so on and so forth. Moving on, moving on. And if you want to join the call queue, give me a call at 773-345-9977. 773-345-9977. Let's take a call or two calls, and then we're going to get to the meat of the show, which was that clown show that they had down there in Congress. Welcome to Black Excellence Hour.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, P-Rae, this is Mark Armstrong.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. So one of the underreported news items that occurred last Thursday while AOC and Crockett, I believe her last name is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, was going in on MTG as far as her egregious misuse of the House's parliamentary procedure dating back to Thomas Jefferson. Was the public comment going off the rails at the regular Cook County Board of Commissioners meeting when one woman, and it was not Jessica Jackson, and it was not George Blakemore, who was a man, called the president of the board, Tony Preckwinkle, a house you-know-what.
Ooh, was it? Wait. I know this woman. I think I know who it was, but since you're not saying her name, I won't say her name either.
Right. I'm not going to say her name, but I understand that she was arrested for doing that.
I heard that she was arrested, walked out of there in handcuffs for calling Tony Preckwinkle a house Negro, but not the word Negro, a hard R.
Which I would have thought that since that is not a criminal kind of thing, that she would have been escorted out as opposed to arrested or escorted out in handcuffs. And this, to me, a lot of people gravitating on what the word she used kind of misses the whole point of why she did it. This is a glaring symptom of Black voters being sick and tired of these branditos. That's what we're calling these brands of Black, brown, and white politicians who don't listen to us and get the attitude of, we don't have to listen to y'all. We're just going to do what we want to do as far as politics are concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And we are sick and tired of being sick and tired of these people pushing us further to the back of the line while simultaneously running our Black communities into the ground further and further and further. In my community lately, after we were able to stop that migrant tent camp from going in on 114th and South Halsted Street, in East Morgan Park, which, by the way, is a historically Black middle-class community dating back to the 1880s. Now we're finding out that in Maple Park subdivision, which is right across the street from that, diagonally across the street from that, a Hispanic concern has bought the old Tire Kickers building, which formerly, before that, was two Black-owned bus companies, to put a waste recycling plant in the community. So for us out in Maple Park, that is just another toxic industry that's going out there to complement the former industrial development that's now tainted at 120th and Morgan Park, where the old fire station was. They couldn't even put a new fire station there because the soil was so toxic. They had to put it in Maple Park at 119th near Green.
Mm-hmm.
So while we're talking about reparations on what would have been today, which would have been Malcolm X's 99th birthday, is that instead of begging for reparations, hat in hand, and allowing these people to waste our tax dollars on studying reparations, because we know what the problem is. We don't need to study it. The slave owners didn't have a study when they got their money back for their lost slaves in the post-bellum period. And likewise, the Japanese who had been interned didn't have a study when they got a piece of some reparations for being interned illegally. We need to just demand that our $500,000 or whatever money they're spending on this study be used instead to give us reparations the same way that our due reparations, the same way that Evanston is doing it.
Well, you know, they
They're
haven't
giving them
even like given them that money. They said that they would give them the money, but no checks have been cut. So we'll see if they're serious about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because we were under the impression, or at least I was under the impression, that they were getting some kind of money.
Not to my knowledge, and I know the people on the team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like I said, just like they had the 51 million for the opioid crisis, they had 500,000 for reparations, but let's see if it gets there because
Right.
the migrants the illegals got to eat next week.
Well, you know what? This goes back to the reason that we're doing this recall thing, which is not to go after a black politician, because the movement actually dates back to LaShawn Ford's bill that's still stuck in limbo, where Ron Emanuel was in office. So, I mean, if we want to start pulling a race card or ethnic card, we could easily say that LaShawn bill was about not only anti-whiteism, but anti-Semitism, if we want to get down with it. But we all know better than that. So this is not about, again, going after a black man. This is about injecting some kind of direct democracy. So black politicians, white politicians, brown politicians, yellow politicians, and politicians of any other color or persuasion stop running our communities into the ground while spraying on our heads and telling us it's raining.
Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
773-345-9977. 773-345-9977. Let's take another call before we get to AOC, because when I tell you they clowned, everybody clowned, and everybody should be getting in trouble. But Jasmine, let's wait. Let's take another call. Welcome to Black Excellence Hour.
Recall Brandon.
Recall Brandon.
That's right. Good show. Anyways, besides the things you're talking about, this week there was a vote to basically have ICE be called to arrest and deport illegal aliens that assault the police. And in Congress, 148 Democrats voted against it, including our esteemed Danny Davis and Jonathan Jackson and a lot of Illinois Democrats.
Well, I wonder why they did that. Why did they do that?
I'm sorry?
I said, I wonder why.
Well, because they don't care about security. You know, they just want to go along with the program. You know, it's the same thing with funding all these illegals. All this money was supposed to be used for these other programs, and of course it's not. So this is what happens. These people are in office, and they don't serve the people. This is why they have to be voted out.
I agree. That's why we're doing the work to try to get them gone.
That's right. So we got to shine the light of truth on all this stuff. But this is very interesting. In fact, I was talking to Obadeli about that on the radio. I sent him some information. He was on yesterday. And I said, well, this is where you're getting your news sources from, this and that. I said, Obadeli, that was congressional record. it's not.
You should have told him I didn't get it from a TikTok video.
Yeah. But anyway, but then later on, after everybody was complaining about Jim from South Elgin, you know, Jim has done a lot of work to support people and things, you know, black folks, and you know, he's puts his money where his mouth is. So, you know, it was a respect. I would appreciate that from him. So, but yeah, it's something. Plus, you know, the whole fentanyl thing, all these drugs. This is the Biden effect. Wide open borders, and also Gary Rabine posted a picture of a building he sold for $1.7 million. It should have cost. I think at one time it should have been, if things would have been the way they were, it would have been like a $400 million building.
Wow.
And we have a kind of a group text thing, and I posted that, and I said, I'm sorry for your loss. And he said, you know what? He told me, he said, had I not made other investments in other states, I might have gone BK because of things like this in Illinois.
Wow.
You know.
Well, welcome to JB's Illinois. He said that we're the most business-friendly state, and look what's happening to the business people.
Oh, absolutely. Well, that's why they're not coming here. In fact, people are complaining about Ken Griffith renaming the Museum of Science and Industry. Well, guess what? He's down in Florida, and he's spending a lot of money in Florida, not up here.
That's true. They said that there's a hole in the philanthropy world because he left.
No, absolutely. People are leaving Illinois because of all these stupid ass politicians. So
All right.
that's why we got to try to turn the tide. I'm tired of people leaving. I want to, people come back here. I want people to change their voting pattern so we can have the same results other states do.
Yeah, if this doesn't work out, I'm just gonna move back to Africa and start speaking French and drinking tea again. Because I can't do another 4 years of Jim Crow Joe.
No, I hear you.
All right.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen. I think there's even pictures of people in the Bronx with parades going for Trump and stuff.
Yeah, those are my people. So. Shout out to Derek Gibson.
Yep.
I saw them do that, and I'm like, Mr. Gibson, we got to do something like that in Chicago. I love their small Patriot March. I mean, I think that we can get a lot more people to come walk behind the Chicago for Trump banner. So yes, I loved it. But yeah, those are my people.
Let's make sure it happens.
It's happening very soon. All right.
We're going to make it happen.
Thank you, Jim.
Be good. Thank you.
You're welcome. 773-345-9977. So let's get to it. I'm about to play you guys what happened. Well, let me set it up. So the Attorney General right now of the United States of America, his name is Merrick Garland. He is being held in contempt of Congress. The reason that he is being held in contempt of Congress is because they asked him to turn over the tapes from a probe of Joe Biden's handling of classified documents. Their findings have raised questions about the president's memory and age. And so the Judiciary Committee last Thursday voted 18-15, and the Oversight Committee 24-20, and this was completely partisan. Their actions were to advance the contempt resolution against Mr. Garland to the full House chamber, which means that the country's top prosecutor could face a potential criminal referral. The effort to hold him in contempt stems from a 345-page report released by Special Counsel Robert Hur in February, and this was the result of a year-long inquiry into Jim Crow Joe's retention of classified documents after leaving the presidency in 2017. The same thing they tried to get my Donnie on, now they're about to get Jim Crow Joe on it because he really did it in real time. The Garland-appointed prosecutor said that no criminal charges against Jim Crow Joe were warranted because the 81-year-old, but despite the 81-year-old willfully retaining classified materials as a private citizen. Mr. Hurst said that prosecutors believe that they would struggle to secure a conviction against Jim Crow Joe, as the jurors would likely view him as a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. Y'all, this is the man that got the nuclear codes, okay? Like, and the prosecutors from the DOJ said he's a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. And I just told y'all that World War III just got retched up 5 levels today. So put this in better context. World War I started because the Duke of Austria was assassinated. And now we got a member of the Azerbaijan government who was on the plane, and 2 major figures of the Iranian government who, not the plane, on the helicopter. I digress. Jim Crow Joe is an elderly man with a poor memory. And so they wanted to get more about the report because Mr. Hurd said that he recounted when Jim Crow Joe struggled to recall milestones in his own life, including the years of his vice presidency and when his oldest son, Bo, died of cancer. The report release was a difficult moment for Jim Crow Joe and his reelection campaign because it stressed one of his biggest political weaknesses, which were his age and his lucidity. Well, friends, Jim Crow Joe, when he responded to it, said, "I'm well-meaning and I'm an elderly man and I know what the hell I'm doing." So he's a little angry old man too. So they're in this House committee, and this is what happened. Remember, you're about to hear AOC and Marjorie Taylor Greene first, and then Jasmine Crockett. Rotate.
We're here about
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr. Chairman,
That's beneath
would
even
you please regain order of your committee?
Order.
Please.
There's a point of order.
We have a point of order. Mr. Lynch.
So let's pause right there. This starts with Jasmine Crockett telling Marjorie Taylor Greene, do you even know why we're here? And she says, you probably don't know why you're here because you don't understand over your long eyelashes. Let's continue the tape.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to ask the parliamentarian if your conduct here in raising money in connection with this hearing is referable to the Ethics Committee within this hearing. Is a motion in order to refer your conduct and your abuse of
It's not a point of order.
Mr. I do have a point of order, and I would like to
wait. Let's pause right there. Let's pause right there. He asked for a point of order because there are people on the committee who are actually getting paid by outside people, and that could really compromise their integrity on the panel. So when he brought up point of order, do you want to talk about the Ethics Committee? Watch what AOC does.
There's a point of order.
We have a point of order. Mr. Lynch, state your point.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to ask the parliamentarian if your conduct here in raising money in connection with this hearing is referable to the Ethics Committee within this hearing. Is a motion in order to refer your conduct and your abuse of
It's not a point of order.
Mr. I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Greene's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Oh,
girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play,
baby girl.
We are gonna move, and we're gonna take your words down.
Because now we are on a reality show reunion show, baby. I thought that what's the man's name that does all the reunion shows? Oh, Andy Cohen. I thought Andy Cohen was about to pop out the back. Let's keep on listening because now, honey, we are in the get your viral moment energy. Let's keep rolling that tape.
I second that motion.
So who will have to pay us? Okay. All right. We're suspending. 1 second.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Who's
Now this is Jasmine speaking.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
So she called a bleach blonde, bad built butch body. This is what a congresswoman called a colleague in the congressional chambers. Again, if we were working at McDonald's and we had a team meeting and somebody called somebody out their name like that, they would be in trouble. Again, we got in the beginning, AOC asking Marjorie Taylor Greene, do you know why we're even? No. Jasmine asking Marjorie, do you know why we're even here? Marjorie making a dig at her eyelashes, and then Jasmine calls her a bleach blonde, bad body. Bleach blonde, butch bad body. Moving on. Let's keep listening.
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
parliament.
I'm trying to find clarification on what quality.
Chairman, motion to strike those words.
I had no idea what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just
you just voted to do it.
Y'all did it first, so you don't want to talk about it.
Voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do. So I'm trying to get clarification.
You're not recognized. Miss
I can't hear you with your yelling.
Don't want
calm
me
down.
No,
can you please calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all talk noise and then you're
out of control.
Because if I come and talk shit about her, y'all gonna have a problem.
Mr. Chairman.
All right, Chair. Okay.
So now we hollering and cussing and fussing at work. Again, you can't do this at McDonald's. You can't do this at Walmart. You can't do this at Amazon. You can't do this at the beauty shop, okay? But this is happening in Congress. Let's keep listening.
Order. Chair now recognizes Ms. Greene for for 4 minutes and 21 seconds. 4 minutes. Let Miss Green talk, and then you all can. I'll recognize.
But I move to strike her words for a second time based on her second set of personal remarks attacking another member.
Who?
Chairman Comer.
Because you all cannot
I have an
seem
amendment at
to
the desk,
apply
and this
the rules
sideshow
of the
needs to
committee.
stop.
We have to do this every time.
Okay, I'm recognized. I'm recognized. I'm going to go ahead and start talking.
Look, I know. Look, I don't know if you noticed it. I have 2 hearing aids. I'm very deaf. I'm not understanding. Everybody's yelling. I'm doing the best I can. Can we not recognize Ms. Green and let her
We
get?
cannot because of the rules of the committee, Mr. Chair. That is what I'm trying to communicate in the present moment.
We have a Okay, what's the motion? What's
The motion is to strike the gentlelady's words for the second set of remarks, not the first, the second.
She
that
has
apply
no
to
This is
idea.
AOC
She has
speaking.
no idea. I think, Mr. Chairman, I'm the
know what
only
the
one
words
recognized
were?
right now.
We objected at the time.
Will the member state the words she wishes
Yes.
struck?
She told me, or she asserted that I was not intelligent. These are the specific words. We can have it read by the clerk.
It was made immediately.
And it was made immediately. I am not moving now.
I don't think it was
I am not
timely.
It was
moving
made
now.
immediately, both by the gentlelady and by me.
Mr.
Guys,
Chair,
look.
it was made immediately.
It was made
and
immediately,
you said
both by
that
the
you would
gentlelady and by
return
me.
to us.
Guys,
She said, you don't have the intelligence to talk to me, is what she said.
the chair recognizes Ms. Green for 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, what is happening with the ruling?
I object to the ruling now.
We must object.
I mean, if you want to take it up.
Now, remember, y'all, all of this is happening because the president of the United States of America has been declared by special counsel from the Department of Justice to be a well-meaning old man who has a poor memory. That's what all of this is about. And then they started doing all of that clowning when they pointed out that the parliamentarian had been fundraising off of the events that were happening in Congress. So then I was watching the news because y'all know I keep up with the news. And I saw this interview that Jasmine did afterwards earlier this morning. Listen to this tape. Roll tape.
Yeah, and I hear that, but she went after your appearance, and then like you went back at her 1,000-fold.
I did in a very lawyerly way.
But do you? Obviously, she started it.
Can we
I'm
get a little
not
more
disputing
volume?
that. But
Yeah.
do you regret that at all?
I don't.
You don't.
I don't. Because here's the thing. I signed up to be a member of Congress. That didn't mean that I was supposed to walk into a position where I'm going to walk in and be disrespected. It's already a hostile work environment being there, and we do have rules. The problem with MAGA is that MAGA does not respect rules, nor do they respect the law. That is exactly why they're all running up to Trump's trial, because he's in trouble, not because of some big conspiracy by the Biden administration. He's in trouble because he fails to respect the law. The reason that the Supreme Court right now is debating whether or not Trump can commit crimes or any president can commit crimes and then be let off is because they have no respect for law. The party of law and order is gone at this point in time.
What that got to do with anything that happened at her job? Now she has taken the platform and the energy of having a reality show moment, and she's now taking this to national media to use it to attack MAGA. This doesn't have anything to do with Black Chicago for Trump, Chicago Red, nothing at all. But you see, this is what they do. Now, because she has taken up this reality show personality, now you got all of these people, all of these influencers across social media going, yes, girl, hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And it's embarrassing to Black women. It's embarrassing to Black people because we don't act up like that on our good government jobs. I worked for the government. I had a little summer internship. I didn't see anybody up there hollering and screaming and carrying on like this. And again, all of this is being done because they see the work that's happening in Chicago. They see that Chicago is going red. They see that other municipalities are going red. And now they're about to make this make the image is that MAGA is attacking Black people, specifically Black women. And we are not buying that. Let's take another call because I am just so disappointed in what I saw in the Congress. Let's take another call and welcome to Black Excellence Hour.
Hi, P-Rae. This is Dennis, and let's go MAGA.
Let's go MAGA.
Yeah. You know what? It's ironic that Jasmine Crockett over here now. She had on them squirrel eyelashes on her eye during the committee. Then she took it off after when she was on CNN.
That is a good point.
Notice that?
Now that you say it, I'm looking at her on CNN. Yeah, you're right.
She did took them off. So it's funny that the little hood rat.
Don't call her a hood rat. That's not nice.
Okay, then. Okay. I'm working on that. So it's like you could give the smoke, but you can't take the smoke. So and Marjorie Taylor Greene said, I'm not going to apologize and stuff. And Marjorie Taylor been working out lately. Now I think I could put some money on that if it's a cage fight.
We don't want them to fight. We just want them to go to work and do their jobs.
But see, here's the thing, P-Rae, is that the Democrats want the Republicans to go by the House rule. Now, one of the Democrats, especially including Jamie Raskin, never go by House rule. They make their own rules up, but they want somebody like Marjorie Taylor Greene and them to follow the rules. That's how contradicting they are. And then if you cannot handle the criticism, don't put your big girl panties on. She knows what she got herself into when she assaulted when she started something with MTG, and she sure know MTG was gonna say something back. But then social media, you got so many pro-blacks on social media talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene can't handle the smoke and all that stuff. And it's very ironic that you got so many, and that Roland Martin gonna say something about it, and then we're gonna hear on the GCI tomorrow because Perry gonna say something about it. But I never seen not too many black women that don't wear fake eyelashes unless they skin is squirrel.
Well, it's.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful.
No. I didn't say that you were being disrespectful to us at all.
About it. But I never seen not too many black women that don't wear fake eyelashes.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, Dennis, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was getting an echo. But yeah, as I was saying, it's not about the fake eyelashes. It's about the fact that they were being completely unprofessional at work, acting like they were on Bravo and hollering and screaming and cussing and, just not becoming of people who are literally trying to save America from a man who has a diminished memory, who has the nuclear codes. Literally. Tomorrow, it's about to be a whole heap of a mess in the Middle East. Do you understand? As soon as they find this man's body, the Persians and the Arabs and the Chinese and the Russians and the Africans and the Venezuelans are all about to link up and reform the Axis. And then NATO is going to be the allies. All of this is happening all over again, and we don't even have a leader who's competent enough to lead us. And the people who are supposed to be making sure he's competent are in there trading barbs against each other, signifying, hollering, screaming, and cussing about things that don't even matter.
Right. Now, this is not the first time that Jasmine Crockett even cussed during a committee meeting. It's not the first time she did it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, this is the second time she did it. She did it before. She did it before when they were trying to impeach Joe Biden, and they subpoena Hunter Biden. It's not the first time Ms. Crockett cussed.
So she likes to cuss when they're trying to figure out what's going on with Jim Crow Joe.
Exactly. It's like Corn Pop is pimping. Well, you know what I mean. So it's like it's like you just like playing the role of the bed warmer and stuff and defending the master. And so it's not like Joe Biden got dementia. He got selective memory, and so he can remember what he want to remember and stuff. But it's gonna blow over like this is what's gonna happen. November 5th.
That's all we got to focus on. November 5th. The Democrats is already eating their own because now they got to worry about the Palestinian protesters over there at the United Center when they showed up in August during the DNC. So they really got their hand full. We just got to sit back and relax. Now, here's another thing. Is that it's going to be June real soon, and we need to really put a strong message to the aldermen that voted these migrants and these bills. I mean, the funding of these migrants. We got to let them know that the blood is not going to be on us. Our blood is not going to shed on the street. The blood is going to be on these criminals and these migrants, and it's going to be on their doorstep, including Brandon Johnson. Because now enough is enough.
Enough is enough, and they have taken it way too far.
Exactly. So now tomorrow, the Supreme Court is going to listen to the state of to the gun owners, especially the Illinois State Rifle Association. Tomorrow, they're going to listen to them, and they're going to try and see if they will combine Maryland and Illinois about these bans on these assault rifles. So, well, not assault rifles, but automatic rifles, semi-automatic. So that's going to be tomorrow. And that's they're going to see if they'll take the case tomorrow.
Well, let's pray.
If they do take the case, yes, if they do take the case, nine times out of 10, they're gonna shoot the ban down. And so if they don't, P-Rae, the worst case scenario, if they don't, they already violated not only the U.S. Constitution, they also violated the state of Illinois Constitution. Because here, these are anti-2A lobbyists are paying J.B. Pritzker.
I agree.
They paying them.
Well, we got to make sure again that we get all our people registered to vote, so that we can get these people out of here.
And I will be at that city hall meeting, and I'm going to put out the reality of what's going to happen and what we must do.
Oh, we're going Chicago Red. I'm sorry, to the people, Chicago Red. We're pulling up on City Hall this week on the 22nd on Wednesday for council meeting. Pull up and hang out with us in the chamber.
Sound good.
All right. Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
773-345-9977. Today we are discussing how they were playing in Congress, and now everybody want to make this a yes, girl, black women just got her toe at work, when we need to be focused on the fact that Jim Crow Joe has a diminished memory and he has the nuclear codes. World War III just got bumped up 2 levels, and the parliamentarian over these hearings has a financial interest, which makes that an ethics issue. But rather than addressing the ethics issue, you had Jasmine in there hollering, screaming, and cussing. Absolutely not. 773-345-9977. Welcome to Black Excellence Hour. Hello? Hello? I had you on hold so long that I think that you walked away from the phone. Hello? All right, I'm gonna put you on mute and give you a minute to come back. But again, we have to know and pay attention this week. Number one, Black Excellence Hour, Chicago Red will be meeting again this Thursday at 7 p.m. at 5834 West Augusta. We're going to be moving the meeting dates soon because we have our Friday social that we will not be having this week, but we'll get into all of that. This week, we are doing voter registrar training. So if you are interested, shoot me an email at heyprae87@gmail.com and we will add you to our list. Our goal is to really hit the streets this summer and do some real live voter registration because we got to get our people registered to vote in order to get rid of Jim Crow Joe. Caller, did you come back? Hello, you on the phone? Okay. They were not ready. And that is okay, because sometimes we run into other things that we have going on. Let's see. Hello? Okay, yeah, let's get you off the line. With that being said, I believe we are at the end of the show. Or how much time do I have? Huh? Oh, 15 more minutes. Good. All right, give me a call. 773-345-9977. 773-345-9977. Again, today we are talking about what happened in Congress and the fact again that Jim Crow Joe is literally sick, y'all. He is sick. Matter of fact, let's listen to him when they asked him about being an elderly man and
I know there's some
this.
attention paid to some language in the report about my recollection of events. There's even reference that I don't remember when my son died. How in the hell dare he raise that? Frankly, when I was asked the question, I thought to myself, wasn't any of their damn business. I don't need anyone. I don't need anyone to remind me when he passed away.
One of the reasons you were not charged is because in his description, you are a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
I'm well-meaning, and I'm an elderly man, and I know what the hell I'm doing. I've been president. I put this country back on its feet. I don't need his recommendation. It's
How
totally
bad is your memory, and can you continue as president?
My memory is so bad, I let you speak. As you know, initially, the president of Mexico, Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in. I talked to him. I convinced him to open the gate.
All right. So again, you heard Jim Crow Joe say that when they asked him those questions, he said it's none of their damn business. And then he went on to mumble about a mumble. So the people in Congress who are actually working their jobs, they said, wait a minute, we have to get a copy of this report, because if the president of the United States has been compromised, then we must move to remove him from office. And instead of them doing their jobs of getting the report and asking the proper questions, we had Congress people who went and decided to act a fool at work so that they can get press clips and make anti-MAGA statements. Again, it's absolutely ridiculous. Let's listen to Jasmine one more time.
Your appearance, and then you went back at her 1,000-fold.
I did in a very lawyerly way.
But obviously she started it.
She said that this happened in a very lawyerly way. Again, I've never seen anybody, the lawyers, hollering and screaming and calling each other out their names. Again, I don't know. Maybe I'm sheltered. I don't understand. But I know that absolutely that is unacceptable. But again, that's not the point. They were not there to find out about Jim Crow Joe. Jasmine's about to tell us again exactly why she and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was doing what she was doing, because all of this was about deflection, because Jim Crow Joe is failing and Black folks have moved on. Listen to what she says.
Disputing that, but do you regret that at all?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. Because here's the thing. I signed up to be a member of Congress. That didn't mean that I was supposed to walk into a position where I'm going to walk in and be disrespected. It's already a hostile work environment being there, and we do have rules. The problem with MAGA is that MAGA does not respect rules, nor do they respect the law. That is exactly why they're all running up to Trump.
So she says MAGA doesn't respect the rules, MAGA doesn't respect the law. However, they were having a congressional inquiry hearing about the fact that Biden, I don't know what their acronym is called other than failure, but Jim Crow Joe decided that he wanted to hold some documents in his house with his son, who was already compromised with a drug problem. And instead of them giving over the documents, he held on to the documents. Then they told him, please give them to us. Then they interviewed him, and they said that he was a well-meaning old man with a compromised memory. What? And instead, again, them talking about that, this is what the Democrat leadership had to say.
Trial because he's in trouble not because of some big conspiracy by the Biden administration. He's in trouble because he fails to respect the law.
But Jim Crow Joe literally failed to respect the law. And the only reason right now, at this very moment, he is not being prosecuted for that failure is because once again, they said that he is a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. So when you hear all these people telling you to vote for Joe, ask them if they read Mr. Hur's report from the special counsel. See, again, I keep telling y'all, these people are not reading. These people are not listening. These people do not care about you. They don't care about me. They only care about what their masters have told them that they have to do, and that's secure the black vote for Jim Crow Joe and the Democrats in Chicago. Nobody else is playing this. Everybody is going to talk about how, whoa, MAGA's being mean to the black girl from Texas. And, oh, this is so sad. And, oh, Lord, the MAGA people just going to eat us up. But they're not talking about the fact that we have a compromised leader, literally compromised leader in the middle of one of the most chaotic periods in American history. Because again, y'all, it's going down this week in the Middle East. As soon as they find that man's body, no trust and believe, it's going up. Now, I was watching some Iranian news, sidebar, and the Iranians used to have a king who they call the Shah. So the Shah of Iran is living, I want to say in Canada or somewhere in the United States, but he's still alive. And a lot of people fled the country during the Islamic Revolution. So a lot of people believe that the death of these senior level government officials in Iran can further push their revolution in a way to push these people out, the Ayatollah and Islamic people, and bring back the crown king so that they can go back to their Western way of living. So we really don't know who did this. A lot of people are invested in this man being unalived. He murdered a lot of people. They called him the butcher of Iran because he had sentenced like hundreds of people to death. And then when he got in office, he also sentenced more people to death. However, you cannot just go around and kill literal heads of state. Now, a lot of people again are saying that the helicopter crash was an accident similar to what happened to Kobe Bryant. They were flying through the mountains. It was fog. They got overtaken and then they crashed. However, there were three helicopters in this delegation, and the two that did not have the president on it made it safely back to Iran, but the one that he and the foreign minister were on crashed into the ground, or what they call a hard landing, and they haven't found them since. So again, even about the fact that they were not discussing that, if Israel is our ally, why haven't we been talking about how the Iranians have been literally arming everybody across the Middle East? You see, but they're not focused on that because their goal right now is to get Donald Trump as far away from the White House as possible, and we are completely messing up their plan. 773-345-9977. Before we wrap up today's show, I want to just leave you with a couple of tidbits. Number one, pull up to our meeting again this Thursday, 5834 West Augusta. We got a lot of good stuff coming. Like I said, the president is coming. He is coming beyond a shadow of a doubt. Don't think it's a game. It's really happening. We are actually just trying to get ourselves in position to do those, to make sure that he's properly received. We also are looking to connect with other people, other groups. So if you have a group or an organization and you know that you want to work with that organization and work with us getting the president in, hit us up. You know, we are very open. We're trying to stay focused on what we have to do. As you know, this is Chicago, so I'm dealing with all kinds of just Lord have mercy. But that's okay. I'm gonna write it in the book. It's not for the airwaves. But I also know that again, we got to be careful. This week, I want everybody to call their congresspeople once again and let them know that we want them to make sure that illegals are not getting the right to vote in our elections when they get new IDs. We also know that Jim Crow Joe was here. Jim Crow Joe is coming back because, again, we out of order. So if you are on social media, be sure to push the fact that Chicago is going red. Push the fact that you are Black and you're voting for Trump. Push, 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 because we have real work to do and people are listening to us in real time. How much more time I got? All right, we're gonna wrap this up. So we are at the end of the show, and that means that the music is playing and it's time to go. Again, my people, please do not let these people distract you. It's some real live stuff happening in America right now that the Negro has to be well aware of, without people trying to distract you, without people trying to manipulate you. Everything that you hear this week, the week of May 19th, I need you to go read and research for yourself. A propaganda machine is coming in a way that you've never seen it, because not only are they losing overseas, but they are losing the Negro vote, and they are investing everything they can to make sure that that does not happen. They're investing everything to make sure that we stay tricked, confused, and broke down. And here at Black Excellence Hour through Chicago Red, we are not doing that. We know that this is a great country. We are a great people. We will not go down with our heads bowed, and we need that border closed, because they are pushing more poison in a little bit, and our people deserve to live. Again, this is P-Rae of Black Excellence Hour, a show for people with high self-esteem. I love you so much. Be sure to share the live, and please pull up on me on Thursday. See you soon. Ciao.